If you would like us to adapt this video or any other manuals for your organization, we have templates from HR to safety. Let us be your partner in converting your manuals into high-impact, affordable videos. Contact us today. The absence policy could have a significant impact on your operations. The company values good attendance at work and is committed to improving the general well-being of its employees to achieve this. Although we aim to secure regular attendance, we do not expect employees to attend when they are unwell. It's recognized by the company that from time to time staff may require to be absent from their work because of illness. The length of time lost by employees through illness must, however, be monitored to ensure that each member of staff is able to do their job effectively and without putting themselves or others at risk. It is not the intention of the company to penalize the generally sick. However, it must be recognized that an employee who is medically ill to carry out their duties may not be able to continue in that employment. Managers will consider cases of sickness on an individual basis and ensure provisions of the appropriate support, advice, and occupational health input where appropriate. However, it is recognized that in some cases, patterns of absence will be unacceptable and a formal management action will be required. Employees who become aware of that they have an illness or problem are encouraged to inform their manager at the earliest opportunity. All such requests will be dealt with speedily and compassionately as possible. On return from absence, all employees must be interviewed by their immediate line manager. At this interview, the employee and the line manager must complete a return to work interview from agreeing the reasons for being absent, the period of absence, where appropriate, what course of action is required as a result of the absence. This form must be completed by both parties before being forwarded to an employee's personnel file. In situations where an employee's sickness record is giving some cause of concern, then the employee's line manager will discuss those concerns with the employee. If there is no improvement in the health of the employee or any sign of patterns emerging in an employee's absence, then the line manager would arrange for the employee to meet the next in line manager who would formally review the employee's case. If the employee fails to improve in this given time frame, then a formal second review must be undertaken. If possible, a more senior manager should be chairing the meeting. The employee must be offered the opportunity for appropriate representation, and prior to the meeting, the employee must be seen by the occupational health, who will give their opinion on the employee's health. The employee must be given the results of this meeting in writing. Where appropriate, there must be given notice, but their level of absence is unacceptable, and that they are given a period of time during which to reduce this level of absence. The employee must be informed at this stage if any further absence may result in employment dismissal. If there's still no improvement within the laid down timeline, a review will be held with the appropriate senior manager. The employee must be offered the opportunity for appropriate representation at this meeting, and the manager will review all the available evidence, including the doctor's report. If there are no special circumstances, the employee will be dismissed on the grounds of incapacity and their inability to meet the accepted standards of attendance required by the company. Every employee has a right to appeal against the outcome of any formal review stage. The basis of an appeal should normally relate to one of the following: that the policy has not been followed correctly, that the resulting action was inappropriate, that the need for action was not warranted. An appeal should be put in writing, and the letter of the appeal may be constructed by the employee or a representative. The letter should contain the grounds for the appeal and should be lodged within 7 days of receipt of the issue of the formal letter. An appeal hearing should be arranged 7 days after receipt. An appeal against the dismissal will be considered the same way, but should be heard by the senior manager in the case. The return to work interview should have the following rules. Every employee should complete a return to work interview form. Interviews should be arranged in an area where there's no interruptions. The employee should be always informed of the reason for the meeting. The meeting should be prefaced by an indication of concern for the employee. The employee should be encouraged to discuss any problems. An apparent problem, a pattern of absence should be brought to the employee's attention. Any relevant documentation must be recorded in the employee's personal file. Counseling. As the first step in the procedure, it is vital that the message conveyed is clear and unambiguous. Prior to counseling, full details of the employee's absence record along with reasons should be made available to both participants. Prior to calling a hearing, full details of the absence record along with the reasons should be made available to the participants. The employee should be made aware of the date and location. They should be informed of the right to be represented. They should be given the opportunity to explain the absence record and the evidence required. The manager set out clearly improvements expected and the timeline over which these improvements must be achieved. And the employee should be informed in writing the requirements and the timeline as advised. Any warnings issued will remain on the record for 12 months. If there has been no improvement in the absence record in the period set at the first review, or there has been a breach during the lifetime of a written warning, then the employee must be informed and asked to attend a second review. In addition, they should be informed of their right to be represented at the review. Medical records must be sought prior to the date of meeting and results made available to both parties. The employee should be given the right to present any evidence to mitigation. The employee should be informed of the need to improve their record and the possibility of dismissal if they do not do so. The employee must be informed of their right to appeal against a decision. This should be confirmed in writing to the employee and held on the personnel file for 18 months. The employee must be given full details of the case and the possible consequences prior to attendance. Some of the interview questions are first day of absence, last day of absence, total number of days of absence, total number of days off. Is the absence due to the injury at work or yes or no? Have you seen a doctor, yes or no? And the reasons for the absence.